All right. Hello again, YouTube. Bugs here, and today we, as me and Jeff, are in Flight Simulator X. This might be the second or probably first video, depending if I still upload the video with no freaking game sound. Finally figured out my audio problem, so hopefully this recording will be good with my voice, Jeff's voice, and game sound.
Hello.
Yep. And today we're going to be doing, Jeff is going to be doing some more flight training with me. We've done it two other times.
A continuation of your flight training, yes.
Yeah. So we're in Livermore, California. We're going to be doing some I don't know what we're doing today, Jeff.
All right. Well, YouTube and everybody else, we are going to be doing an extension of Bugs' flight training. So far, unfortunately, we've been able to record it, but it has been going very well. He's been learning a lot. Today, we're going to go up. We're going to do our standard turn. We're going to do some stalls. Then we're going to do, you're going to learn a little bit about a VOR. And then we're going to come back to the airport and do touch and goes.
Alrighty.
That's the plan, at least.
Let's
hope everything works. A VOR is what we use for navigation purposes. So we're going, I'll explain it as we go. If we get time to do it. If not, we'll come back and just do landings.
Alrighty.
But I'm going to go ahead and give you the airplane. Airplane is yours.
Alright, I have the airplane.
Okay. What I want you to do is go ahead and fire her up if you remember how to do it.
Yeah, I think I do. Alright, let's see. That on. Oh, wait, this here.
Yep. And we don't turn our avionics on until after the engine has been started.
Okay. So let's
No, there she goes. Just ignited. All right, you can go. There's our avionics are on.
What do we want? Lights. We want beacon.
You want your beacon on. We want our navs on. We want our.
Strobes.
We'll turn our strobes and we'll turn our landing lights on before we take the runway. So not now.
Oh, okay. So strobes on or off?
Strobes off for now until we're ready to go.
We want taxi on.
Nope. We're just gonna use the landing light instead of a taxi light.
All right.
But you would use the taxi light if you were taxiing.
Yep. Okay. I believe that's everything.
Yep. And we, as usual, we have just enough fuel to do what we want to get done. Unless you want to taxi over and get some fuel, you want to do that?
Might as well. Where is it?
Yep, it's behind us. Remember that gas station back there?
I think so.
All right, and before we roll forward every time, we'll both test our brakes and make sure the brakes are working on both ends of the airplane.
Yeah,
so,
I'm hitting my trigger and it's saying brakes, so
all right, yep, good. Same over here. I see it as well. So let's pull forward and hit the brakes. You'll check yours first. Okay, all righty, and then I'll check them. Go ahead, roll forward. All right, I have brakes as well.
All righty.
All right, go ahead and taxi her over there to the gas pumps, and we'll put some gas into this airplane. But yeah, basically what everybody has missed so far hasn't been. I don't think they missed too much. You learned how to do standard rate turns, how to control the airplane during stalls, which we'll see that again today. But for the most part, they haven't missed much because they learned the whole learning process, you know. Yeah. And now you know a little bit about it now to where we're not going to bore everybody with having to do the same thing over and over for repetition.
Yeah, and hopefully tomorrow, or hopefully I'll upload that other video where we're doing, my first landing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
With no game sound. Sorry about that, but it might have some soft, nice music on it. Oh, we're gonna miss this, aren't we?
Yeah, I was saying.
My brakes aren't working anymore. Why are my brakes not working? Nope.
Oh man, and you're taxiing extremely fast. Tear the airplane up here. Hang on. You need to cut that power. Is that
I did.
Holy shit, man! You were taxiing fast.
I didn't even realize it.
I'm gonna taxi the plane over there now. Hang on.
You want to control the airplane?
Nope, I can control this. And we're not going to shut the engine down. It'll just go ahead and automatically load the tanks up here. There they are. We already got it. So go ahead and taxi down to the runway.
All right.
Well, the winds are 026 at 9. So, yep. We want to go down to the runway that's down here off our nose.
Hold on,
So all of a sudden your brakes.
Are you on the brakes?
No, I'm not on the brakes. Brakes are released.
I'm putting my throttle full and I'm not getting anything.
Oh, try this. Try it now.
Ah, there we go.
All right. Yeah, I had a stuck throttle over here.
Oh.
That would make sense. Yeah, try not to taxi that fast.
Yeah, I didn't see how fast I was going.
And I think the reason why you didn't have any brakes is because you were taxiing so fast the plane was trying to like jump off the ground and take off.
Oh, I didn't realize it was going that fast.
Yeah, so if you try tapping your trigger now, do you have brakes?
Nope.
Wonder why that is.
Yeah, no, nothing.
It was working fine when we taxied out.
Yeah.
This right here is too fast of a taxi speed. It's a little less than this. It's just so you can maintain control of the airplane while we taxi.
Yeah.
But we're doing good now. And we can make a left on this next taxiway.
All right.
And then we'll make an immediate right on that other taxiway there. So we'll make a left here. Oh yeah, I gotta get the brakes, don't I? Shit.
Yep.
All right. I'll keep an eye on your brakes for you. I don't know why your brakes aren't working.
I don't know. I'm not sure why that is. That's really weird. So left and then a right?
Yep. Make a right
All right.
on to Echo 2. Well, actually, for some reason they're calling taxiway 2. We're taxiing down to runway 7 left. The reason why we're taxiing to runway 7 left, well, we could do 7 right, which is a smaller runway, but we're doing 7 left, is because winds are 026 at 9, which means they are coming from 026, and we're going to be taking off on 070. So we always take off into the wind, and we land into the wind.
Right.
And you see this orange thing coming up here on our left? That's the windsock.
Yep.
So that's pointing the direction of where the wind's going. See how the wind's hitting it right here, and it's going to that direction that the small end goes to?
Yeah.
So that lets us know what the wind is. Have to apologize. My voice seems to be cracking a little bit today.
Yeah.
Because we're both on new schedules, sleep schedules. I'm gonna flip that over the GPS. Let's see here. HVD. We're good here. All right, I'm gonna start slowing you up here.
Alrighty.
We're not gonna do a run up. We're gonna say you need to pull that power out so a little bit. There you go. All right, you got it now. It just wasn't letting me slow down. All right, we're not gonna do a run up this time, only because it's kind of boring, and we'll say we've already done it in the airplane, so we know all the systems are working. But you can go ahead and taxi onto the runway and give us a landing and a strobe light now.
All right. There we go.
Mm-hmm. Remember to watch where we're taxiing. We're taxiing to the left of the line there.
Yeah.
All right, line up on the runway. Okay, first things first, what I've noticed before in prior train sessions before we take off is that you haven't set your trim for takeoff. If you look down at the bottom, you see that little tab, the little round guy.
Yeah.
You see how that has that little tick that says takeoff on the left of it?
Yep.
So you want to pull the trim back until it matches that line for takeoff. There you go. Right there's fine. Doesn't have to be right on it, but that'll do. That way our trim tab will be already ready to go for takeoff for that. So let's go ahead and take off. Remember, we'll rotate at 55, right around 60 knots, and then we'll maintain 80 knots on the climb out, and we'll want that nose on the horizon. So clear for takeoff. Very nice. Nice center line guidance. There's our rotation speed. And pull it back. There we go, and we're airborne. So just maintain this heading for now. And let's climb up to 3,000 feet.
Alrighty.
Let's try to maintain that 80 knots on the climb out. Looking good, looking good. So see how we maintain that 80 knots? We kind of get that whole. Well, we're getting about 1,000 feet per minute today. Oh, you know what? We didn't test our. We did an ultimate no-no before we take off. We did not adjust our altimeter to the correct setting. So if you watch, I'm gonna set it. Oh, actually, you know what? It already did automatic. I think I did that when I was prepping the plane before. But usually we want to double check our instruments to make sure that they are correct before we take off, obviously.
Yeah.
But we're doing fine on this heading. Looks good. We can go ahead and start our turn towards the north to our left. Still maintaining 80 knots. Actually, now we can go ahead and accelerate to 100 knots. And we can turn off the landing light. We don't need it for now. But we'll just leave it on for now. Actually. There's north. Roll off. Woo! Nice and easy.
Yep.
There we go. We're doing fine. Alright. You can hear that engine bogging down, so we know we're climbing now. Are we at max throttle?
Yeah.
Okay, good. We want to accelerate to 100 knots. So just kind of barely let that nose come down. And see, the reason why we had 1,000 foot per minute climb out was because we had our trim tab set for takeoff.
Right.
So we used that for takeoff, and then when we're on our climb out, we would roll that back to neutral.
Okay.
Because just like right now, you can go ahead and trim the plane out the way you want, the way it feels good to you.
I gotta remember which button is up and which button is down.
Yeah, I know.
All right, that's
You'll get it though. Yep. So you can bring the nose down a little bit so we can get that 100 knots. So we want to start accelerating. Or towards, actually 90 knots is fine, but 100 knots or so. And we'll climb to 3,000 feet. Looks good. And then once we get up to altitude, we'll level off and we'll trim the airplane for level flight. And let's turn to the right, maintain that north heading for now.
Oh, he's headed to the right.
Yep, to get on the north heading. The big N.
Yeah, it's just, it's looking like it's going east.
Yeah, I know. It looks weird because, well, now we're overshooting north, but there you go.
Oh, it just must be updating slowly for me. That was weird.
Yeah, that's probably what it was.
Yeah, it wasn't really turning, and then all of a sudden we passed it.
Yeah, I know.
That was odd.
So here we got 200 feet till we hit 3,000. You're doing fine on the 90 knots on the climb out. Looks good. So remember when we come up on this 3,000 feet per minute, or not feet per minute, but 3,000 feet, we'll pull the RPM back to about 2,300 RPM, and then we'll trim it for cruise flight. So see how we're coming up on 3,000 now? There you go. There's 2,300 RPM. And now we'll just see what the airplane wants to do. See how if a nose wants to fall down, you'll add that trim back and bring that nose up. Just whatever we can do to maintain 3,000. But you're doing great because we're right holding 3,000. All right, once you get the airplane trimmed out, we'll do a turn to the east.
Alrighty.
A standard turn. And try to watch your altitude. Now that it's like our third or fourth time up, we're going to try to maintain the altitudes a little bit better. And remember, we'll look outside of the airplane and we'll listen to that engine too. So if you hear it bogging down, we know we're climbing. We hear it speed up, we know we're descending. There you go. We rolled off a little early on the east, but it's all right. We'll continue this. Let's see. Do you remember how to do a power off stall?
I believe so.
All right. We go 1500 RPM. We dump in the flaps once we get in the white arc, and then we pitch for that. Yeah, go ahead and do it. I'm happy with your turns so far. So go ahead and 1500 RPM. Maintain that nose up. There you go. So we want to bleed that speed off so we can get into that white arc so we can dump our flaps in. So we're getting close to that. Go ahead and dump our flaps in. There you go. You can dump them all in. There you go. And we'll let the airplane settle out at 3,000 feet. Now pitch down for that 70 knots. There you go. And once we hit 70 knots, go ahead and pull the power and bring the nose back. There you go. Pull power. Nose back. There you go. Nice and easy. Pull back a little more. Pull back a little more. Pull back a little more. A little more. A little more. A little more. There's the stall. Let it drop. And add that pull power. There you go. And then bring that nose up. There we go. We didn't lose that. We lost about 500 feet on that one. That wasn't bad compared to the 1,200 footer that we lost last time.
Yeah.
So go ahead and remember, bring our wing flaps up in increments. And we'll climb back up to 3,000 feet. So let's go ahead and turn right to the south.
All right.
A nice 20-degree turn. There you go. I'm just trying to keep our altitude in mind with all the mountains around. And we might bounce around in this turbulence a little bit. The turbulence we're getting is actually from all these mountains.
I'm not really noticing that much turbulence.
Oh, yeah. I've got a camera software that runs to where you get to see all the bumps and all that stuff. You'll have to get that sometime. You can see that awesome sunset. All right, we're getting to about to the time of night where we can turn our lights on.
Yeah,
there we go. Lights. It's quite all right. Climbing to that 3,000 feet. And that 90 knots looks good. The reason why we accelerate to 90 knots, I don't know why I was saying 100 earlier, but 90 knots because that's our maneuvering speed.
Right.
So it's fine. We're looking good. Coming up on 3,000 feet. All right. Now this time we're going to do a turn to the right. But okay, you see how we got the first notch is 5, and then we got 10, and then the 15, right?
Yeah.
Or no, I'm sorry, 10, 20, and 30. You see between that one and then the very last one that's got that gap?
Wait, which one are we talking about now?
Okay, you see the first notch, then you have the second notch is 20.
On what?
On our attitude indicator for our turns.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay, so you got 10, 20, and 30. And then between 30 and the last one, that's when we do our turn, I want you to keep it in between those two.
Between 20 and 30?
Yeah, between 30 and 45, 50. Between 30 and 50. So we get 45-degree angle turn. But what I want you to do is try to maintain the same altitude we enter it in. So go ahead and descend to 3,000 feet. Push that nose down. Well, actually, you know what? We can continue to climb to 3,500. It's safe to have a little extra altitude for around the mountains. That's why I'm kind of keeping us away from the mountains.
Right.
Still sneak up on us.
Still got that stupid flying tip about the engine mixture.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
What is it saying to you?
It's saying that it's wrong. Or it's too rich or something. I'll read it more when it pops back up, but
yeah, they want you to lean it out or whatever. We would lean that out if we were in we were in cruise flight. That's what it's kind of wrong. In training, we won't worry about that.
Yeah. Your engine is losing power because the mixture is not leaned correctly.
Oh, is that what they're saying? All right. Well, here I got it for you. I'll pull it out a little bit. Is that running better? Is it happy with that?
I'll tell you in a couple seconds if that backs up.
All right. Yeah, those flying tips are kind of annoying. All right, so let's go ahead and enter the turn to the right and try to maintain that 45-degree angle. So first, when you enter into it, keep it in between those two big lines that, like, you know, in the center of it. But then look outside and look at the Earth and try to maintain the same level with the Earth.
Alrighty.
So let's go ahead and turn to the right. There you go. Let her come. Now remember, we're going to be banking harder, so we're going to need more back pressure. A little more than that to the right. Yeah, right there. That's good. And just maintain this. And listen to the engine. So you know if we're climbing, we need to push that nose down so we can descend to get back to the 3,500 feet. But if you look outside and not look at the instruments so much, you can maintain that same level. And you're doing excellent right now. We're in a nice little descent, but you're already counteracting that. And when we exit, we're going to exit back towards the exact same way we began. Yep, right on the south. So we'll roll out right on the south. We rolled out a little early, about 10 degrees early, but you did fine. Look at this. We started at 3,500, and where did we end up? 3,500. We're still climbing a little bit, so you can put that nose down. But I'm really happy with that, man. Let's go ahead and make a right turn to heading, let's go heading 300. So you got west is 270, and then you see 30, be 300. I'm happy with all that. Let's descend to 2,000 feet, and let's do some touch and goes. That's pretty amazing that you remembered almost all the procedures for like stalls and all that. That's really good.
Yeah, I don't know why, but for some reason it seems like flying is pretty easy.
Well, we haven't got into the hard stuff yet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I don't know. For some reason, I'm just remembering this stuff. Catching on for no reason.
Turn those panel lights off. I had the sun bleeding through it because the simulator doesn't have it. Hasn't changed over to night yet. What happens is the sim, once it gets to a certain point, it changes over to night textures. And then it'll allow our interior lights to come on correctly.
I've been waiting for those to come on.
Yeah. You see the airport down there that we took off of, right? Livermore.
Oh, yep.
It's right there at our 10 o'clock. So we're going to descend keep a nice descent profile. We're climbing right now, actually.
Oh.
So let's descend over those mountains, and we'll shoot an approach into that airport like we did last time, but let's extend it a little while. So if we were coming out and we were approaching an airport and we wanted to lose altitude, what do you think we would do? Would we push the nose over and kill the engine or pull the engine? We could do that, but instead let's just go ahead and make a right turn like we did before, just a standard rate turn, 20 degrees, and we'll do what's called a 360. So we started at 300. So yep, we'll just keep descending in a nice circle, and we'll come back out at 300 again. So what this does is when we do a 360, it gives us time to lose our altitude we want to get back safe enough. That way we're not going to be nose diving towards the airport, you know what I mean? And trust me, whenever you're learning how to fly, you want to get down to that airport so bad, you'll do whatever it takes.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
But no, man, your flight controls are great. Holding that altitude, I mean, that's really good. That is really good. And if you ever took flight lessons, this is exactly what you would be doing.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen.
Hey, you never know. Maybe this will turn you in your eyes skyward and you'll become a pilot.
Yeah. Except, that fear of heights. That's gonna...
You know what's funny is I have a fear of heights, but not in an airplane.
That doesn't make sense.
Because you're sitting in something and you're in control of it.
You would think that would happen. Dude, I get freaked out when I see something on TV when they show over the side of a building, alright?
Yeah, but this doesn't freak you out, right? Simulator.
Not really, but they're not showing like straight vertical,
Straight down. Yeah, I know what you mean.
That's when it hits me.
I keep turning right. And you see the highway? Let's put the airplane to the right of the highway and get that left downwind for runway 7 left.
All right, so keep going to the right of the highway.
To the right? Yep. Yeah, we'll just stay just left of that mountain range right there.
Are you sure we're not supposed to be landing from this side? Because there's like a little white light that's going.
No, I know that. You can land from both ends of the runway, but remember we always land into the wind, so we're taking the wind into account. So right now we're downwind because remember that wind was out of 0.2 something. Yeah, 0.83 at 5 right now. Because we're actually flying real world weather. That's in the at this airport right now. But see those 2 white lights? That's a VASI light system. That's not a PAPI. On the other end, when we come in, remember we have those 4 that are all next to each other. Those are PAPIs. These are VASIs. There you go. You're doing good. Let's descend down to about 1,500 feet. And remember, when we come wings level with threshold, we'll pull that power out and we'll add that 10 degree of flap.
Yeah.
You know the drill. Let's see if we can use our lights yet. Yep, there they are.
Ah, there we go. Jeez.
Very nice. Yep, stay on this little heading right here. Looks good. All the traffic down there on that highway. And you said what highway is that? The 289er?
I think that might be either the 580 or the 880. Or actually it could be the 680. Who knows? Something 80.
Yeah, something like that.
That's all I know. Haven't spent a lot of time living over the top of California in a plane.
That's alright.
Okay, so what, we want to pull our power now, right?
Yep, pull the power back and go 10 degree flap.
We want to go back to what, 1500?
Yeah, 1500, 10 degree flap. And don't worry about the arc on the 10 degrees. You can just go ahead and pull, you can always put 10, just go ahead and put your flap in now, 10 degrees, there you go. Because it's going to slow us up. And we can already start our left turn for our base now. And here on our base, we want to maintain about 80 knots. So we want to maintain 80 knots on base. And we can, once we get squared up on our base, we'll drop in 20 degree flap. And you see how the roads are situated? We can use that as a nice reference for our base. So go ahead and roll wings level here. Add 20 degree flap. There you go. And now we can start our turn to final now. We just want to square it up so we can see what we're doing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, so remember, now we'll do what's called final on final. And final on final will be, we'll add our 30 degrees of flaps, and then we will pitch for 70 knots, which you've already been doing, which is great. And you'll add power for our altitude. So go ahead and add 30 degree flaps. Now we got white lights, so what do we want to do? We want to pull that power out. There you go, the pitch for that 70 knots. And then when we come down on that glide slope, add that power back in. Don't forget about the power.
Yeah.
Because when we forget about it, we get into those dangerous situations. There we go. So add that power back in. There you go, and still pitch for 70. It's all right. Pull back the nose. We want to get that 70 knots. There we go. It'll help us get back on the glide slope too. So add more power, bring that nose up. There you go. It's all right to be a little low on this approach, not a big deal. Now what we want to do is we want to try to touch down on those big white squares out there. You see them?
Yeah.
Well, that's what at this airport it would be. But we're not going to in a Cessna. So go ahead and pull the power over the threshold there. And let's round out to our flare. Let that nose come down. Whether we're going to get too much. There you go. Bring it up. Woo! Oh, man, that was a rough one.
Yeah.
All right, bring our wing flaps up. And add our power. I'll tell you what, in the real one, whenever we come in and we touch down and we do our touch and go and we bring those flaps up, and it's just like, it's so much movement happening. Go ahead and bring our nose back. We're good for takeoff. We're at our rotation speed. There you go. So bring that nose up on the horizon, maintain that 80 knots. When we hit 1,000 feet, then we're going to start our cross crosswind, which will turn to the left. But it's all right. Your first, usually your first landing of the day is going to be your worst. It always is.
Yeah, the ground came up pretty quick there.
Yep. What happened was you didn't pitch for that 70 knots. So what happened, or like whenever you added that power back in, you still had the nose down. We were doing like 85 knots, you know? And if you would have pulled back and pitched for that 70 knots, it would have brought the airplane back up in the air, and we would have been back up on that glide slope again.
Right.
But, I mean, other than that, our entry for the approach, everything was great.
So you want to turn left now?
Yeah. And remember, if you feel that nose dropping on you, use your trim. Your trim is always your friend. Your trim allows you to not have to work so hard.
Yeah.
There you go. And we'll square it up, you know what I mean? Like, we'll roll the wings level here in a minute so we can square it up. There you go. Rolling wings level. Square that up. So out of the left-hand side, we can see that runway. There we go. And then start our left turn now for our left iron downwind. And we'll try to maintain about 1,500 feet.
Alright.
We don't need to go any more than that. And you can pull power at about 2,300 RPM. So it'll prevent us from climbing. There you go. Very nice. And we're just flying a nice little pattern next to this highway. Because see now, if I look at the GPS, actually I need to put that in. I didn't even put that in. LBK. There we go. See, we are exactly 1 mile from the airport, and we want to maintain about a mile from the airport the entire time we shoot our pattern.
Right.
The reason why we do that is because if we lost an engine, we would be able to actually be able to glide it back to the airport. So there's our threshold. We'll go 1,500 RPM, 10-degree flap. There you go. It's okay to put your 10-degree flap in before the white arc. We just don't put anything beyond that. So now we have that 45 degrees from the threshold. We start our left turn to the base and pitch for that 80 knots. You can see when we pitch for that 80 knots, it brings that nose up, so we're not losing so much altitude. But now we can add a little bit of power in. All right, roll the wings level for our base. This is called our base leg. So we can see that runway, 20-degree flap. There you go. And now you can start your turn towards the runway. And remember, pitch for that 70 knots, and I can already tell we're going to be high, so we can pull that power out. And shallow out the turn a little bit so we can get to the runway just about right. There you go. And don't feel bad if you pull the engine all the way out. Go and pull the power all the way out because we're pretty high. There you go. Just maintain that 70 knots. And we're a little left of the runway, so we can turn right a little bit onto it. There you go. Looking good. And once we get back on that glide slope, then we can add our power back in. You can see the hardest part about flying and managing an airplane on landing is remembering to pitch for that airspeed and to remember the power setting. There you go. Very nice. Here we go, coming over the threshold. Now we can pull that power. And then remember, try to let that nose come down a little bit so we can maintain that speed and then bring her up. Up, up, up. Back, 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 back. There you go, back, 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 back. Whoop. Oh, nice. That wasn't that bad.
Oh, jeez.
All right, I'm gonna let you, you're gonna do this one and I'm not gonna bug you. I'm gonna let you fly the pattern on your own.
All right.
See how much of the speeds and all that stuff, remember? You can get used to wind. It's not that bad though. It's currently 8 knots. That's less than what we did yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Doesn't feel like it.
It's because it's from a different direction.
Yeah. Whoa,
No, you're doing perfectly fine, man. It's whenever in real life, whenever I was doing the real stuff, when you're learning that round out the flare, that's the roughest thing. Some days you nail it, like you nailed it yesterday, but and sometimes you just don't get that depth perception, and you don't feel it out right enough. And you know what? They always used to make us pull all the power all the way out, but when I fly by myself, I always keep a little bit of power in when I'm coming down to that runway. I don't like having no power because then I feel if I stall it out, it's going to be a rough landing.
Yeah. Whoa.
Oop.
Missed it there. Yeah.
It's all right. Remember, just nice and easy control inputs.
It's hard to move the camera around to look and like fly and move it back. And
Yeah, I know.
it's kind of a pain.
That's why I like my track IR. I can just look around.
Yeah.
Helps for pattern flying. That sun's going down.
Yeah.
The sun is going down. Yeah, this isn't a bad little airport to learn out of. I mean, it's got a big runway and pretty neat area to fly around.
Yeah.
It's so impressive that you remember all this. You catch on so fast. It's ridiculous. You see how a lot of it is just routine,
Yeah. Yeah.
And there you go. That's the kind of turns I like to see you make. Excellent, excellent. Wow, even remember that 20. I thought you were going to forget that one. Remember, one thing is, no matter what, no matter how high you are, never dive for the runway. Always fly that approach speed. We got plenty of room. If you feel like you want to pull out or keep a little bit of power in on your landing, that's fine with me. It's not going to hurt my feelings. I just like to have that little bit of control, Mm-hmm. All right, man. That was freaking good.
Oh, Jesus.
What's the matter?
Just like concentration was ridiculous.
Yeah, I've filmed that one from the tower view.
Oh, really?
Yep. All right, go ahead and take off again. The reason why whenever you're coming in off of your base leg to final, and we have all white lights every time, and we're pretty high on the approach, is because we're flying too high. So let's bring it down to about. So we were at 1500, but when we were doing our downwind, I noticed we were climbing a little bit. Right. So when we entered, we were a lot higher than when we need to be. So actually, let's try to maintain about, when we're on our downwind, go ahead and descend to about 1,000 feet. I think that 500-foot difference is going to make your approaches look a lot better.
Alrighty.
But no, I mean, that was, from what it looked like from the outside, it was nice. And did you keep a little bit of power in on the landing?
I pulled all of it.
Oh, all right. There you go. Then it's just about getting that feel for that round out. Because the round out is what you're doing to transition the airplane into the landing stage.
Right.
And then the flare is when you're just pulling back. And in the real airplane, you did a great landing because you'll actually hear the stall horn go off when you're touching down.
Oh,
if you have that really good amount of flare on that landing. For some reason, Cessna 172s, they got to be flared a lot. They're very. It's because they have a high wing and they're not low wing airplane.
Yeah.
They require a lot of flare. And you know what flare is, right?
I believe so.
Yep, bringing the nose up.
Yeah.
I'm happy with about 1,200 feet here. Just for this mountain range. Still see a little bit of the sun back there.
Yeah.
Not much. Yeah, see, now we're a lot lower this time than being at 1,500 feet when we entered this.
Yeah.
Because when we start our base turn, the reason why we pitch for that 80 knots is because we're getting a nice descent profile, which we're going to be a lot better shape on this one. Look at that, we already got a red light. Perfect. Look at that, right on the glide slope. That's amazing. And don't forget your last set of flaps. There you go. It'll help you out.
I don't think I did that last time.
Oh, really?
I did the third stage of flaps, yeah.
You don't have to do 30. It's just optional. It helps you gets you more of a nose down profile. There you go, right on the glide slope. It's a one light low, that's not bad. Oh, there you go. Nice recovery on it. And don't worry about we can land on those squares and I'll be happy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. I'm pretty happy with that. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that too.
All right, let's go ahead and taxi into the ramp. There you go. Nice. Flaps are up. I think you're going to transition into the instrument stuff pretty good. You seem to be really good with instruments. Like, you look at the instruments and you scan them, and you look outside and you scan them, you look outside.
I think I look more at the instruments than I do outside, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I mean, I had that same problem, but it'll be good. Imagine whenever you cannot see anything outside and you're in low visibility and you just look at instruments.
Yeah.
That's where the fun really is. You want concentration and sweat on your hands. There you have it. I made it in right whenever it turned dark.
Yeah, that was a good lesson.
Yep. Got a stall in there, and we got all that. Yeah, the main thing that on that last landing that you could have done different was you were at about 2,000 RPM when we put our 10-degree flaps in, and we wanted about 1,500. Would have slowed you down a little more, so we were entering it a little fast. That's why you had to.
Yeah.
He had a little bit of time managing that 70 knots.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah.
But notice how when we entered in around about 1,200 feet, when we came around and we were on our final, we were at about coming over 1,000 feet. You were already pretty close to being on the glide slope.
Yeah.
So that's definitely much better descent profile. But yeah, that was great. Pull in right here in this little box, and you see that line that goes across the T?
Uh-huh.
The line is, we want that to be underneath the wings. It's where the tie downs go. So keep pulling forward. Keep pulling forward, keep pulling forward, keep pulling forward. Just where the strut lines up with it, you know?
There we go.
There you go. Perfect.
All right, now let's shut it down.
Yeah, remember, shutting down, we'll kill it. Then we'll turn off the avionics power.
Avionics.
Yep, and then we turn the key all the way to the left before we shut the engine off. Then master.
Then master.
There you have it.
Alrighty. Well, that was good. That was good.
Back on the ground in one piece, and we didn't die.
Yeah. That was pretty good. Alrighty. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the flight lesson, and there will definitely be more of this. Hopefully soon me and Jeff can do a point A to point B in separate planes.
Yeah, that'll be relatively soon. I think next lesson we'll actually do a point A to point B flight. You'll fly from this airport to another airport and back, and then I think you'll be ready for your first what's called your solo.
Alrighty.
Where you'll just be by yourself, and you'll go up there and I'll watch you from the ground.
Sweet. Well, yeah, keep an eye out for those videos, and I will see you guys next time.
Yep, same to my viewers. We'll see you guys next time.
All right, see ya.